NFL record for the worst completion percentage.
This is a game you need to win. This is a divisional matchup against a team you should beat. This is how you stack up wins.
Hello and welcome back to episode 62 of i75Live. Before we start today's episodes, don't forget, like, subscribe. We got some comments on our Daniel Jones and talking about the Colts that I thought was kind of funny.
Bit us right in the ass,
It's always funny that, I wouldn't say so because they beat the shit on the Titans again. But yes, don't forget, follow all our pages, subscribe, like, comment. We appreciate everything. And before we get into today's full episode of everything we're talking about, I'll let Dylan take over our sponsor.
Yes, this episode is sponsored by CutBet. As always, CutBet is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that allows its users to wager directly with other users on any public result in sport. Sorry about that. Entertainment, politics, and more. Sign up today using code i75Live and stay tuned later in the show for our cut bet of the week. We are now on I think it's like a 3 or 4 win streak, and I went with a point total again this week. You'll see, but went a little opposite of last week. So hopefully
we've been crushing the cut bet.
That Bills game, I think the over was 46.5 and it was 49.
Yeah.
Barely.
And the Bills practically scored all the points.
Yeah, they did.
Before we get into football, the World Series obviously started.
I'm still tired from Monday.
I think a lot of people are.
You're tired. Sunday?
I think a lot of people are.
Oh, man.
It was basically 2 baseball games in one. It was about 7 hours worth of baseball. And, record amount of pitches, record amount of runs, runners left on base. Ohtani breaking records with how many times he was on base in postseason. And then, of course, I think it was funny when I was watching it because I didn't stay up to watch it all. I went to bed.
I did.
But when I went to bed, I totally was like, it's just Freddie's going to walk it off. I don't know what inning it's going to be in. I don't know when
Little
it's
did
happen.
you know you were going to be asleep for 4 hours before that happened.
Yeah.
19 pitchers, most in history, I think, in any game. 609 pitches thrown. 37 runners left on base. For those of you that did not watch the game, it was 5-5 at the end of the 7th, and it remained 5-5 until the 18th. But it was not because there was no action. I mean, I think bases were loaded like 3 or 4 times, and both teams got out of jams. It was incredible defensively, and it was a really fun game. And the Blue Jays just tied it up last night.
Yeah.
So it is a brand new series. It's a best of 3 series to win.
And, last week we talked about Vlad and how good he has played. He really has played like the superstar he is for that team. That's why they paid him all that money. You can argue that the reason why they won last night because he had the home run and it really sparked all the runs that they ended up, winning by. So yeah, it's been a good series, 2-2. They've got one more game in Los Angeles, and then the last two if they're in Toronto.
Freddie Freeman, also the only player in MLB history with 2 World Series walk-offs because he did it last year as well.
It pains me that the Braves let him walk away. It really does.
Yeah, it does. Well, so the Braves didn't let him. That whole story. You remember his agent? He fired his agent because his agent lied to him about Atlanta's offer, and then told him the Dodgers were offering more, which I'm pretty sure it was the exact same contract.
It was probably very, very similar.
Oh, yeah. And that's why, Freddie fired him immediately after. But I got to ask, because of, I think, Ohtani, reaching base 9 times, he only had 4 hits. He got walked 5 times after that. And it worked. Obviously, Freddie Freeman hit the game winner, but do you just walk Ohtani for the rest of the series?
I was talking to Gunny about this, and I honestly, I don't care about any of the unspoken rules of baseball. Unless the bases are loaded and he is up to bat, and if I go to walk him to walk in a run, there is no way I am pitching to him. There's just no way.
You would.
I don't know why you would. If you seriously want to have a chance of winning this series, I am eliminating every single opportunity I can of him being able to hit the ball because of how good he is.
Yep.
And I know that's unwritten. You can't do that. That's the unwritten rule.
You actually can.
I get all that.
I don't give a shit about unwritten rules.
I don't care.
I don't give a shit.
If I was Toronto, that is the only way that I honestly feel like we have it. That is the one thing you can control is him being able to hit the ball.
Yep.
You're not going to get any chances doing that. And I'll take my chances with bets. I'll take my chances with the rest of that lineup that is not named Shohei.
We said the Blue Jays had the best chance to beat the Dodgers. I mean, they do have I think outside of the the Dodgers didn't have a great offense during the year. I think the Blue Jays had the best offense in the league next to like the Mariners. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I know they were at least top 5.
They
were incredible.
I think they were one of the best teams in baseball to hitting with 2 outs as well.
And with runners on base.
With scoring runs and hitting with 2 outs. So they've obviously been able to find success doing that all year.
Yeah, so I mean, imagine what would have happened if they won on Monday. I mean, this would be a 3-1 series. And it's completely different. We're talking about this as the Blue Jays potentially saving baseball for, all things considered.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter.
It's not going to.
You guys said, though, it was funny. You said that you thought the Blue Jays were the only team that could compete with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I think you were right. It's been a hell of a series. A friend of mine, guy I coach out in LA, was at the game. He said they stopped. We talked to him. We FaceTimed him. We all talked to him. All of us did. Jake Dawson, to see he'd said I didn't get any sleep. They stopped selling food, like alcohol, everything, and like they opened everything back up.
Not alcohol,
and it just kept going. He said it was unreal. It was just such an unreal experience. He was at the game the last time it went 18 innings as well. So.
Yeah, in 2018.
Yeah,
and
pretty
he's
crazy.
Going to be there. He's going to be there.
He's going to be there for Game 5. Yeah,
which is
but what a series!
What does he do for tickets?
He has season tickets.
Well, no, and he knows family. He sits in the family section. So
I see.
So he sent some great videos. Yeah,
I gotcha.
Wrap up World Series. NFL, we do this every week. Questions after week 8. For one, we'll start off just because we were there. We ended up going absolute last minute. The Dolphins, Falcons. I think this is so embarrassing for the Falcons. We also are having Cullen on a little bit later to talk a little bit about the Falcons in Georgia and everything that.
Atlanta.
But we were there, Dolphins. They ended up, Achane scored and Waddle scored right in front of us. So that was really cool. I think it was... going to an NFL game is always a lot of fun, regardless of if the teams suck. I was happy that, for our sake of Chris being a Dolphins fan,
won.
That we won. There were a lot of points scored. Kirk Cousins looked like crap. It just it looked like he hasn't played all year, which made sense.
Or practiced.
It was really bad.
What were Falcons fans saying though? Like the guys that were sitting around you.
What were they saying?
Not show up.
They were leaving.
Luckily,
they were leaving early. We were in a Dolphins
Luckily,
section.
we were in a good everyone around us were Dolphins fans.
We were practically on the field, man. We were in like the 8th row.
Yeah, we were really close.
It's like our family season tickets.
A lot of Dolphins fans, but yeah, the Falcons fans. It was just, there was basically no one left.
They had nothing to say.
Yeah. So funny.
Every time they got up and left, it was all the Dolphin fans. Listen, we were there. There was a ton of teal and white in that stadium. Like we came to play.
There was a lot
and the fans came out, and it was a great
And I know
win.
Atlanta's always kind of been notorious for
having
not really
fans.
for not having like home field advantage.
Showing up at halftime and then leaving somewhere
Well,
in the third quarter.
we had 2 guys that showed up to it with seats next to us, and their flight got delayed from I think Arizona, and they didn't show up till halfway through the third quarter, and our flight got delayed, but we're here. And I can't remember what they were wearing. Were they wearing Dolphin stuff?
Yeah, they were Dolphin fans. They came for the Dolphin game, yeah.
Yeah, so that was funny. And we kind of were like, well, that's why you don't travel on the day of game day.
Yep. And Chris, did you have to check your pants after Waddle and Achane scored right in front of you?
I did not.
Okay.
However, it was pretty cool. It was funny. It was thanks to Dawson, actually, because we bought the tickets last minute. I was almost on the other corner. But Dawson's like, I think that's the tunnel, so we should go on that side. It was the Dolphin side. So we went to that side, and of course, we saw Waddle score. We saw, Achane score right in front of us. It was cool.
It was pretty cool.
It was great.
And I know it's it's pretty self-explanatory, but when you are that close to those, they are very large human beings out there playing football and hitting each other as hard as they can.
And then
those tight ends are
Kyle
huge.
Kyle Pitts is massive.
It's like 6'6".
Tree trunk. Man.
And then even Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is a big, even Achane. You think watching Achane on TV is some short little
He's like 5'9", but he's like 220.
They are some large human beings out there playing a game, hitting each other as fast as they do. So that was kind of, I've always known that, but to be up close and really see it after not seeing it for a long time.
Oh, I'm telling you, dude. When we go to the Bears games for my family season tickets, that week 1 game, it's awesome. It's so electric.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Bears, I will say I called this. I did say we could lose, and obviously it was because I thought Lamar was playing. But even when that happened, I was not, because, we're missing our top 4 guys in the secondary. But this is more about the Bears GM, Ryan Poles. This is not, obviously we lost. It wasn't a pretty game. Apparently, according to Ben Johnson, it looked better on the all-22 from Caleb's perspective. Still missing throws, but he's progressing. But Bears GM, Ryan Poles. So I'm going to take y'all down memory lane, right? So back to 2022, when we hired Ryan Poles. His former position, he was an executive director of player personnel for the Chiefs, whatever the fuck that means. But apparently, if you just hire someone from a winning organization, it'll work out, just like when the Bears hired Matt Nagy from the Chiefs, right? Yeah, that makes sense. So since then, since 2022, not a single Pro Bowler has been drafted by him. He's 15-36 overall. He traded for Chase Claypool using an early second-round pick, drafted a punter last year over Bucky Irving.
Oh, the guy who said that Caleb looked at him and said,
"Yep,
we're never
not going to have to punt too much." He's leading the league in punts, I think. A backup tackle over Mike Green, who got a sack on Caleb on Sunday. A special teamer in the 4th round who has been a healthy inactive for 3 weeks in a row instead of Cam Scatabo, even though we needed a power back. He cries. I'm not kidding. Look at Hard Knocks last year. He cries when he has to release a bad player he likes. Look at the Adrian Colbert clip. Brought him into his office and had to go into his closet to shed a few tears before he cut him.
I remember.
Terrible player. And so, just on top of that, refusing to trade Velus Jones Jr. right after, another Hard Knocks personality. He was offered a 3rd-round pick. What happens? Week 1, he fumbles a kickoff and they cut him 2 weeks into the season instead of having a 3rd-round pick. And now he's like a running back, the 4th-string running back on the Saints. So, on top of that, all that being said, he makes emotional decisions, drafts players that remind him of himself, because let me remind you guys that he was a offensive tackle in 2007. The Bears, I think pretty sure he was undrafted, didn't even make the team. His football career ended there.
I remember that. That was in Hard Knocks. We talked about that.
And it's very blatantly obvious going off those interviews in Hard Knocks that he looks to find players that remind him of himself so he can give them another chance. We are the goodwill for terrible players. And it is just so pathetic. And he thinks, on top of that, that he is the smartest person in the room in all of his interviews. Let me take you back to the draft process with the quarterbacks in 2024. There are stories coming out that he had his mind made up about Caleb from the jump. So much so that they really didn't evaluate Jaden Daniels, and they literally, from reports, laughed Drake May out of the room. Apparently, during Drake May's visit, they spent time showing all of his bad film to everyone in the room.
Thank God they did that.
I have nothing to say. It's just ridiculous. Ryan Poles has no business running a football team. You should have hired someone who had at least a little bit of experience doing that, not just scouting college players. I'm guessing that's what the player personnel guy does.
You should have, I think when you hired Ben Johnson, you should have hired a new GM alongside Ben Johnson so they could have kind of done it together.
And so I trust Ben Johnson. I love the coaching staff that he's put together. So even if the Bears find success this year, Ryan Poles, you are going to be the reason it can't be sustained. It's bad. And guess what? This summer, we extended him until 2029.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because apparently he's earned it for Ben Johnson wanting to work here. He did nothing to get him hired. Ben Johnson wanted to be here.
When you said he's never drafted a Pro Bowler, how many players has he drafted? Do you know that number?
We've had quite a few draft picks in 22, 23, 24, and 25.
Okay.
That's 4 drafts, and remember, we traded the first overall pick for a fucking haul. Yeah. No one has made the Pro Bowl. Yeah. Nobody.
DJ Moore hasn't? Really?
Nope. Well, no. Not on us.
Really?
Nope.
The last time he was on the Panthers?
He didn't draft him.
That's true.
It's pathetic.
I got confused because you traded
Ryan Poles, I hope this finds you. I'm not trying to overly criticize you, but take a look in the mirror, bud. It's just happening over and over again. Let's try something different this time. Let's not put our heart into our decisions. You're running a football team. I don't there's nothing else I can say. This is so sad. Pathetic.
Yeah, it's the class, and I hate to say
same old Bears
because it is your team, but it does
same old Bears.
I think unfortunately the Bears fall under the same category of
Browns and
teams
Bengals
who are run by
terrible owners,
terrible organizations. It doesn't matter how good of a coach you have. Doesn't matter how many.
Well, our owner is George McCaskey, is a lawyer who was gifted the team by his mom. That's it. That's our owner. That is who's making the important decisions. Is someone that, got a hand-me-down from mommy. And
yeah.
I am so upset that I was born into a fandom of this team. And even when and not only to mention that they are following the exact same script of 2018, to the T, it's just bad. It's bad. I'm losing hope more and more because of who's at the top. I have so much faith in our roster.
I really like Ben Johnson, though. I really do.
It's not going to work with Ryan Poles. It's not going to work. And arguably, that could be the reason that it all crashes and burns again.
Well, it's who these coaches link themselves with.
Ryan Poles, you're pathetic.
Well, they should have. They should have hired a completely new GM to come in with Ben Johnson. Looking back on it now, really didn't think about it much, but that's what should have happened.
Yep.
You should have completely restarted fresh with a brand new GM and a brand new coach, and had that marriage.
That makes
from the
too much
beginning.
sense. That makes too much sense for them.
Well, when Cullen comes on, I'm sure he'll talk about what's happening in Atlanta because it's the same thing. It's who you strap yourself to in this league. It's not just
you're precisely right, because the Fontenot and Raheem Morris, you should have hired. I mean, Fontenot was terrible with the picks he's had and just no reputation.
But Zach
of doing
Robinson,
anything good.
though,
walking. But even walking out on interviews and not talking to the media when he says to, and not answering questions of what's really going on, and then all of a sudden you hire a new coach, and
I think Ben Johnson is incredible.
It's organizations that seem to just be stuck so far in their own way.
We are the Jets, we are the Browns, we are the Raiders, we are the Jaguars with a flashier offense. That's it.
Speaking of the Jets and the Bengals, to go into our next game, the only reason we have this up here is I think because of the comments that the Jets owner had to Justin Fields, and then having to start Justin Fields.
And then they win. They come back from 15 down in the fourth quarter, and Fields look good passing.
He did. He's playing against a really, really bad defense, though.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to go back to his normal self of why he got benched in the first place. Going, what were they? They were 0-7.
I'll say they won that game with no receiving core.
They did.
At all.
And they had to have Breece Hall throwing touchdown passes to win the game.
Through a Kareem skyhook.
To their tight
Mason
end.
Taylor over two defenders.
Yeah. I will say, though, I know I'm a Justin Fields hater. I think it's all warranted, though, because of his play on the field. Mm-hmm. But his character and what he kind of talked about after that game, I give him a lot of credit a lot of just, you know what? Round of applause for you. Mm-hmm. You didn't act like a little bitch.
Nope.
You took it on the chin.
Nope.
You went out there. You had all the opportunity after that game to look at the owner or to look at anyone and go, F you. I just won you this game. And he didn't. So round of applause for the maturity and how he handled after the game, talking to the reporter, then even after, showered, going to all the other reporters. So you earn some kudo points for me. I still think you're not a very good quarterback, and you'd be a really good running back or receiver in the NFL.
I saw someone, I don't remember who it was, but I guess Justin Fields would be such a good Taysom Hill. My God.
He would. Or just a running back or a slot receiver or something. He's a big guy. It's not like he's just some beanpole.
No.
I think he's a great athlete. I just don't think he played quarterback. But you handled that whole situation like a true pro. And for that, I commend you. And I applaud you on that. Enough about that team, because I just think it's too...
it was just a cool storyline.
It was. Two teams that just can't seem to get anything right.
Another game that really didn't mean much because the Patriots are just dogging everybody that's bad. But Drake May... Let me give you this stat, right? So obviously, the Raiders game,
first game of the year.
You guys have played 8 games. The Raiders game was, just your warm up.
Steelers game, we should have won. We fumbled 3 times in the red zone.
Yeah.
And if we score at least field goals in the red zone on those drives, we win the game.
Even with that game, Drake May, 7 straight games of 200 plus passing yards and 100 passer rating. And he's the first player in NFL history to have 4,000 passing yards, 500 rush yards, and 69% completion percentage in his first however many starts. He started all of last year. I think a full season now is what they're going off of. Crazy.
Yeah, Crazy. Look, you always look and you go, oh man, Jaden, Washington gets Jaden Daniels, all these, Patrick Mahomes goes in the 15th overall pick to the Chiefs, and he's so good when no one was thinking about, when is it going to happen to my team?
Yep.
I'm not going to go that far to say But it now I kind of know how that feels to like every year, like searching for that quarterback. And I didn't have that growing up because I had Tom. And there was, when the draft came around, we talked about this when the draft was here. It really didn't mean much to me because it was just like, well, we got Tom, we got Gronk, we got all these guys. Yeah, the draft will help us build some depth.
And you're picking 30th or 32nd.
Yeah, so it
year.
just really didn't matter. And the past 5 years it has, because it's like, when are we gonna, because I think the draft has a little bit to do with luck and getting lucky to who falls to you. And
you also have to take the draft process seriously. You do. Ryan Poles.
And I think for a couple years it's like, well, Mac Jones, and then led us to the playoffs, and it was like, well, it was kind of a fluke because we sucked and he ended up not working out. But Drake May feels and looks very, very, very good, like he knows what he's doing. And if you look on top of that, I think the clips that are coming out of him with Josh McDaniels on the sideline of talking about things, or even like, Stephon Diggs going up to McDaniels and being like, hey, what can I relay for you? Like, is there anything that I can voice to the team that you want the team to know, but maybe not coming from you because I'm the captain. It's stuff like that that we have not had, that Mike Vrabel is bringing to our team. And it really excites me because I think it's crazy that Mike Vrabel wasn't a head coach for those couple years and got fired from Tennessee. But there's another example of a team, a bad organization. Why? I would love to know the reasoning behind why they fired Vrabel or let him walk. I would love to know the reasoning.
Oh, man.
But, to me, though, watching the games and watching the players, watching the interactions of some of the special stuff we get on the sidelines of the mic'd up clips, it really feels like, and we have like a leading receiver. Every week there's a different leading receiver, which to me shows the unselfishness.
Matt Collins had like 80 receiving yards.
Yes, and then Stephon Diggs would play really good, and then Booty will play really good, and then Henderson had 11 carries,
and then he fumbled.
I know he kind of fumbled, and it was late in the fourth quarter though.
Can't get away from it,
but
Dawson.
He did fumble, so that was he's going to get 0 carries.
He's done. He's done. Gone.
So yeah, I think it's very, very, very exciting, and to know that your quarterback. I mean, what I know the argument is, and we got shit. Well, the Patriots haven't played anyone. I can't believe
that was a good defense. That was an incredible defense.
Incredible defense.
And Myles Garrett had 5 sacks.
Still
put up 32.
And I, and the whole argument that we had, like I wasn't really comparing them to the Colts last week. I was just kind of doing that because everyone naturally, because I was wearing it, was going to say, but your team's in the same boat. So that's kind of why I did that. I wasn't trying to compare the two, but it naturally just kind of turned into that. I think the Colts, I said this to AJ.
Colts are a hands down top 3 team in the NFL. I think you've got them, the Rams, and then the Chiefs.
Well, and the way they can run the ball, but I've always said it though. When my best player is a running back, when you get punched in the face and you get down and it's like we've seen it with the Ravens and Derrick Henry.
Yep.
When Derrick Henry was your best player.
What happens when you're forced to throw the ball?
What happens when you're forced to throw the ball?
And the Chiefs in a few weeks are going to do that.
The one game that they have kind of been forced to throw the ball was against the Rams, and Daniel Jones had 2 interceptions.
He had 2 interceptions. Granted, they didn't lose that game because of Daniel Jones. He was the reason it was 2020. And then I don't remember how that score happened. Was it a blocked kick?
I think it was
for a touchdown or something like that.
And
the Rams just scored instantly. Yeah. And then it just, obviously, they still had chances to score after that and didn't. Yeah. So that's
my argument, is I would rather have my best player on offense be a quarterback. Obviously, I mean, that sounds kind of, but I truly think that the best player on the Colts right now is Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, no.
To me,
no doubt.
That is just, I don't like that, because when it comes down to it, you're going to have your quarterback carry you and put his team on the back, and your running back can't do anything. If you're down 14 points and you want to just run the ball, good luck.
That's true. The one thing is, Tyler Warren is a stud, so they've got the means to pass the ball there.
100%.
Josh Downs, I like Pierce quite a bit.
100%.
Pittman has been great this year. He's been very good. And their O-line, oh my God.
Best O-line in the league.
They are a top 3 team right next to the Rams and the Chiefs.
100%.
And it's obviously the Chiefs' record isn't what it should be, just because I think if they had Rashee Rice for the first 6 weeks, we'd be having much different conversations about the Chiefs. But they just look incredible.
But I know we kind of jumped off topic, but my team, it's very nice.
Yep.
It's the past 5 years,
must be nice.
As in, like, I saw Teddy Bruschi say it to her, like, what's wrong with the Bills? And it's like, we're back. They had 5 years, couldn't do anything with 5 years, but win the division a couple times. And now the Patriots are back.
Great.
But again, though, to go on to our continuous conversation of having organizations that know how to do it, the Patriots, I think, have very good ownership, very good.
Patriots, Packers. I wouldn't say the Chiefs just because the Chiefs were very bad. I can't say the Ravens. Maybe the Ravens.
They know how to build
a roster.
Yes.
Building a roster, yeah. But on to Cowboys at Broncos. Not going to touch much on this game.
Yeah.
The Broncos offense has been very good. And to highlight that, Bo Nix after the last 5 games, I know he had he did have a rough start. The first 3 games, they haven't had a bye week yet. 94.8 passer rating, 1,268 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's been really good.
And obviously they played Dallas. Dallas has been just free money for quarterbacks all year long, even Caleb Williams. But the Broncos look good. This is the team, and I know Patrick Surtain is now out for like a month to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So that sucks, but they're still a really good team.
They are a very good team. And also, just to mention, I thought it was hilarious that the Cowboys sat their starters with 8 minutes left to go in the fourth.
Yeah, Joe Milton was in the game. Cowboys are dead again.
Yeah, Cowboys have a great offense. They have all this talent, but they can't stop a nosebleed to save their life.
Nope.
To get into 4th and long this week, though, Chris, what do you got for us this week? I know we kind of talked about last week with Montana, with the Pandas.
4th and 20.
Montana Pandas, baby.
The
Montana Pandas are 1-0 all time.
They did.
They're retired now. They're going to have the greatest record of all time, 100%.
Did they respond after the game too?
They did. Media. Well, first of all, they kicked their ass. And
I'm sure they did.
I think we had second string defense in the whole second half.
That's awesome.
We could have just beat the crap out of them.
They did post something of just how sometimes the teams will meme and be like.
Honestly, I think it might have been funnier if they just didn't say anything.
yeah. But they did win. The Montana Pandas.
What was the final score?
It was funny. I can't remember. It was a lot to
20.
Yeah. They beat.
And it could have been probably 70-20 if they.
Oh yeah.
So
there's and I want to So speaking of Montana, we since we kicked the crap out of them. There's a guy named Michael Wortham. Okay, and he was a transfer guy. But listen to some of these stats. He's got 6 receiving touchdowns. He has 5 rushing touchdowns on the season so far. They're 8-0. They're third in the country. 690 receiving yards. He has 445 kick return yards. He's also 1,430 all-purpose yards. The guy does kind of what he's one of the he was a quarterback when he was in high school, and so now he does a little bit of that wildcat stuff where he comes in and the defenses don't know what to do. Like, what are you going to do? Load up the box.
It seemed like every single play, because I watched a little bit of the game. It seemed like every single play he had the ball. Whether he was taking the snap, whether he was getting the ball thrown to him, whether it was a jet sweep, whether it was kick return, whether it was whatever. He is very, very athletic. I mean, it literally felt like he had the ball. Besides on defense, I'm surprised he doesn't play defense too.
Yeah.
He had the ball in his hands every single play. That's what it felt like. And he was an absolute stud.
It was pretty great. Yeah. So they moved up to number 3. We also found out, guys, that the Natty is going to be at Vanderbilt. It's going to be in Nashville this year in January.
So if they make it.
So we're going to the Natty, baby. We're going to be there. We're going to be there. So, okay. So in the news this week, Colin Cowherd, I don't know, is this clickbait or is he just talking shit about Jordan again? Because did you hear what he said?
Cowherd is one of my least favorite. Like he's a genius because he knows exactly
rage baiter.
He knows
exactly how to get clicks.
Some serious shit about Jordan.
I can't say he's an idiot. I know he knows exactly what he's doing. So 100%. Quite honestly, Colin Cowherd, you are a genius. But like at some point, people got to start realizing that this is entertainment.
They won't.
Like this. What do you say about Jordan this time?
Well, I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but basically just calling him, I mean, I don't know, washed up, old news. You're not really as great as you thought you were. I mean, like seriously, like shut the fuck up. I mean, that's the way I feel. Okay. So Colin Cowherd, maybe he's just looking for clicks.
He is. He's
okay.
Like Dylan said, he's not stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yep.
He's always been the master rage baiter. Genius at doing what he does. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why Fox pays him what he does, what they do.
Absolutely.
And he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if I was in his shoes,
I'd do the same thing.
I'd do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, so I want to go back for a minute, just talk baseball just for a minute. So Dodgers, Blue Jays, after the unbelievable week we've had in baseball. So Series 2-2. It's basically a 3-game series now.
It is.
Who's going to win it?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I seriously think it really depends on how the Blue Jays handle the Shohei situation.
Probably.
I'm not joking when I say I would not throw him the ball
At all.
unless the bases are loaded, and I would, if I had to walk him, it would walk in a run. That is,
You can. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
there's no rule that says you can't.
Nope. You can do it every time.
I seriously
It's
think
just an
I know
unwritten rule. It's frowned upon in the baseball world. Who fucking cares? I want a ring.
I want a ring.
I want
I'm
a ring.
so serious. If
cares?
I were the Blue Jays, I'm not joking. I would walk him every single time. There's no way I am letting him swing the bat. There's just no way.
No.
If I even want a chance of winning.
So who's going to win?
I want to say
okay,
Toronto,
do you think the Blue Jays will do that?
I don't think they will because they're going to be so terrified of the baseball old heads being like, well, you can't walk.
They're scared of bad juju is what they're scared of.
I think the Dodgers will end up winning. I do. I think because
They will.
Yamamoto will be able to pitch again, and they'll, they're.
Did you see how Yamamoto was
warming up?
Yeah.
And
To
did
go
you
into the
like?
19th
Was it
inning.
Schmaltz or who was in the?
Well, Schmaltz was
Schmaltz.
like, I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Like,
this
this
dude
isn't
just
real.
pitched a perfect game 2 nights ago, and he's warming up to go in the 19th inning.
He went 9 innings.
So
2 days
yeah,
ago.
I
that
was
did
surprised the
happen.
ball boy, the guy handing out drinks in the stands. Like,
Did you see the fruit platters?
Get your
for the
beer.
18th inning? They brought
Everybody
out
pitched.
fruit platters for like the 15th or 16th
Oh,
inning.
God, that
and they
game.
saw them. They showed him in the Dodgers dugout,
Yep.
and then the announcers go, "Hey, I want some of that." And then they get one like an inning later. It's just a massive fruit
That's
platter.
hilarious.
No, it was. I think
So
the Dodgers will
you
still
think
win.
the Dodgers? Who do you think, Dylan?
I think Dodgers probably. I'd like to say the Blue Jays.
I wouldn't be
But-
surprised if it goes to Game 7, though.
No,
I
I
think a
wouldn't
Game
either.
7 would be cool.
Yeah.
But I seriously, I would not pitch a Shohei.
Yep.
I
Never.
don't care.
Okay,
I don't care.
so okay, we gotta. Okay, first of all, it is Dolphin week, right? We won.
And you
Even though
play
we haven't had the
tomorrow. Well,
season,
when
we
we
won
release
it.
that
I'm wearing the
episode,
jersey today.
you guys play
know,
Thursday night tomorrow.
The Dan Marino vibes. We do play tomorrow night, this Thursday, so
Home
that's
game.
great. So I'm curious though. We saw. I'm just here for the shit show. On shirts, we saw Fire McDaniel, like all this stuff
At the Falcons game?
At the Falcons game, yeah. So I'm just curious.
There was, hold on. There was a guy that also was wearing a Tua jersey, and he had duct tape on it, and it said, Tua, turn the ball over.
Turn the ball over.
That was really funny.
Tua,
too.
turn the ball over.
Even though he didn't, I
And
mean,
it was written on turnovers.
he was like quarterback of the week this last week. I mean, they had a great game. How many
Good for
weeks
you.
do you think McDaniel saved his job in that game?
I think his job's screwed regardless.
Yeah.
They could, unless they win out, go to the playoffs and do something. I think he's.
Well, one, I think the Ravens are going to, sorry, Chris, they're going to demolish y'all. After what they did to us and Lamar is going to be back healthy.
Did you just compare the Bears to the Dolphins? Oh my God, Dylan. We're going to have words next week. You know what? I've got the Dolphins this week. I've got the Dolphins tonight.
fuck
It's
the
in
Dolphins.
Miami. You got to give the home team. Come
That is
on.
in Miami.
I got
You're
the
right.
Dolphins.
But
Come
Lamar-
on.
That is true.
Every
The
time
Dolphins are back, baby!
They might be.
Go to the Super Bowl.
No.
Every time Lamar plays the Dolphins, it's 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
he has a better chance of putting up 5 again than he does putting up like 1 or 2.
Well,
It's-
Yeah,
They'll have to-
I think he's fired. But I do think it is smart to not fire in season because I've always hated that.
unless it's
unless
needs to
it-
happen where
unless
your
it's
head
bad.
coach forgets what a timeout is
That
on
too.
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
in front of the world.
That too.
Okay, so
win the
that's
game.
my last question. I want to talk about fired coaches, but we're going to have to go back to college. So
Coaches.
Brian Kelly finally gets the axe. at
Way
LSU.
more than just that. It has been a fire sale.
I mean, what is going
Not
on in
fire
college
sale, but-
football right now? I want to know with this carousel that's happening, who is paying the ultimate price? Do you guys think is it the program? Is it the boosters or is it the players?
So before we go on to that, last year there wasn't a single SEC coach fired.
Really?
Everyone came back.
Nice,
This
yeah.
year, I believe there's already
You've got
5.
Florida. You've
You have
got
Florida. You have Arkansas got
Arkansas.
fired earlier.
That's
You
right.
have LSU got
LSU.
fired, and I've
Well,
got
regardless,
missing a
that's-
couple.
that's
but
a lot.
anyway,
Penn
there's going
State
to be a
fired their
lot
coach.
of SEC jobs available. I know Lane Kiffin.
John Gruden.
People are saying that Lane Kiffin's going to be getting offered.
even
ungodly
Dion
amounts
came
of
out and
money.
said, they've been like, what is wrong here? Like people need to like.
I think
he's getting
John
phone calls.
Gruden's going to, and I think I saw a story that it didn't come out from LSU. This was just someone saying that LSU should offer Saban a 3-year blank check deal to come back to LSU. That's where he started.
Yeah.
Or not started, but that's, yeah.
He was there for a good bit.
Oh, and he was a great head coach for that program, too.
After then a short stint
the
for
way,
the Dolphins head
the way
coach.
college football is now, I think it's a lot, because Jake told me, we were talking about it, and he was like, well, if I'm Lane Kiffin, why would I leave Ole Miss to go to like LSU? I said, well, Jake, look, if LSU offers him the absolute just blank check bag with a shit ton of money guaranteed, and then with an extremely high buyout, with how college football is structured now, yeah, you could say, well, the culture and stuff, you can literally take all of the kids that he had on Ole Miss and have them transfer to LSU.
He will.
The ones he wants, if he wanted to do that. Yeah. So my argument to that is it doesn't matter where these coaches are coaching now.
Yeah.
It's who can give me the most money because you want me, and I'll just have all my players come still play for me.
But Dawson, but it was like watching the Montana game. Like two of their studs, their stud on defense and Wortham, those guys both transferred in.
That's what college football is.
Conference.
That's what college football is now.
In their conference, they transferred in. Like, that's insane.
It's what college football is now. But that's my argument to where I would not be surprised if Lane Kiffin takes one of these jobs that are going to, a lot of money to where it's going to be almost like, how do I say no to that? And then it even makes it easier because you can have all your players that you want come transfer for your team. And then you got the same team just wearing different colors.
Brian Kelly gets like $3,000 or $4,000 a minute or some crazy
his
thing
buyout was like 60 some odd million. And we had the conversation of like when with Franklin of it's like dudes sitting on his couch being like, great,
paid like $75
I'm just gonna wait for an SEC team to come offer me however many millions, another 50,000 million buyout. Try my best. If not,
ridiculous.
Oh well.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then the question, guys, was this. Okay, so who pays the ultimate price? Is it the player, or maybe not because of NIL? Is it the program? Is it the local fan base? Is it the boosters that are paying all this money?
I think
who pays the price?
I think the players, because on a different level, I think what the transfer portal and what this is all doing is ruining the development of players.
Yeah.
It is ruining them for the ones who make it to the NFL. Yes, they're good enough, and I can go to whatever team I want and I'm going to play in college. When they get to the NFL, if you're, say Jackson Dart, for example, the Giants aren't very good.
Nope.
If this was college, Jackson Dart would be in the transfer portal trying to go to a better team. So you're setting these kids up, I think, to fail and to not appreciate the hardship and what it truly takes to
come together as a team,
and come together as a team and really unite as what football is, the ultimate team game.
That's what I'll say. Obviously, they get people that want to come into the program, but that's why I give Ohio State so much credit.
Yes,
they can't. It's not their fault that they're one of the top programs and everyone wants to play there. But they're not losing guys, and they're not going out and shoveling out money for a bunch of transfers. They only got. I think last year we talked about it. When they won the Natty, they had like 2 guys that transferred.
But they had to pay their guys within to have them stay.
Absolutely.
So there's that side of it too. But I do agree with you is they felt it was more important. We're like, hey, because of NIL and all this, I still want something, but I want to be here. So we can make this right because, I still think I deserve my portion of this because of how college football is. I want that, but I want to be here. So please, whatever you have to do, I want to be here because I love it. So that's, to me, I think the players are seeing, and you could say, well, the money of all the boosters and who's paying all these guys. Yeah, of course, because now they got to pay another coach and all that crap. But the players, I truly think, are seeing the biggest hit because they are not setting them up.
Or how about the fans? Maybe
level.
Our ticket prices,
because
we looked up tickets the other day to the Georgia Tech game, and the prices for the seats we sat in for the Dolphin game,
it was like $500.
We're like $500. We paid $200. And it's like, this is an NFL game. And so to go to a college, like, it's crazy how expensive it is to go to a college game now, too.
I think the players are seeing the biggest hit. That's my
okay, guys. That's all I got. That's fourth and long.
Nicely done.
All right.
Before we move on to our Cullen Smith guest spot, make sure you guys leave a like on the video, drop some comments, follow the social media pages we post every week, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of the support. But yes, on to our local Falcons, Hawks, UGA superfan, Cullen Smith.
Cullen, we welcome Cullen to the show. Like Dylan just said, we have a good list of questions for him. As you can tell, he is a Georgia Falcons Hawks fanatic fan.
Just an Atlanta sports
He's been
fan.
here before, so if you've followed, you are aware. But we do have a list of questions with the Falcons, with some of the Georgia stuff too, and everything kind of going on, and how Georgia has been just
really interesting year.
Very interesting year through. But we will start off with the Falcons season. So our first question to you is, hey, there's a lot to unpack, I think, with it, but what do you pinpoint maybe being the biggest issue that the Falcons have so far this year?
I think my answer is probably going to be pretty obvious. It's coaching. I think Raheem Morris should probably be investigated by the FBI or something. I don't know what's going on with him, but I feel like it is impossible to lose with the roster we have right now.
Got a really good roster.
It's if you put prime Matt Ryan in it, we would probably win something or at least go to the playoffs and in that drought. Obviously we just lost to Miami. That is crazy. And we got blown out by Miami. I know Chris is big Miami guy, so I'm sure he enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Raheem Morris, he's a player's coach. I know you can probably quote what I said at the beginning or in the preseason episode that I was like happy with him. Changed my mind. He should not be a head coach. Not at all. But I think it stems all the way from Arthur Blank, and we have a CEO named McKay. He's been there for like 21 years, and he's been in charge of all this stuff. Never had the right guys. So it's simply coaching. I think we got a lot of young players. We have all of our skill position players. They're just being led the wrong way. If you're being blown out by pretty bottom tier teams in the NFL, something's got to be really wrong. And so, Raheem Morris. For sure.
Well, to touch on that then, because you did mention the young players, and so you guys traded back into the first round this past year in the draft. And with that, obviously you could say you fixed the pass rush. I mean, you've been getting production out of it, and you've got some other guys that were already on the roster that are, finally being able to be sprung loose now that you have some more threats. But they traded their first round pick next year to go and get James Pierce. And I'm wondering now, after, some hindsight, if you still think that was the right decision. Because now, I mean, this pick is almost top 10 right now, and the Rams have it.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the hindsight's 2020 always. And in the moment, I'm a big fan of Pierce and Jalen Walker. I think that was a really good draft for us. And I think the reasoning behind it was Terry Fontenot, our GM, he thought we would finally emerge this year. Obviously that doesn't seem to be the case. And so now it looks pretty bad. However, like I said a minute ago, we have all of our skill position players. So, I mean, I don't really know who we would be targeting in the first round anyways. I think a lot of the guys we're going to go for is, probably
maybe an O-lineman.
Could be. I mean, our O-line, maybe like a right tackle or something like that. I think we're going to go defensive players again. We don't really have any like high, we're not picking like a Jeremiah Smith type of player or anything like that in the first round. We don't need that. Do I think we should have done it? I can't tell. I don't know yet.
I think you make a good point of where they expected this offense to be with all the playmakers they do have.
They figured they just needed to defense to support it.
What they've been saying for years. Hey, we just need pass rush. We have been historically bad.
I say the vision was wrong. I mean, I would agree. That's probably what you should have been doing in the offseason.
And even kind of how the whole draft unfolded to where Walker was there, and you didn't think he was going to be available when he was there,
and then Pierce was available too.
Yeah, so I do see what you're saying to where their thought process of, look, we've spent all this money, all the draft picks on skill positions the past couple of years. We have that. If it works out, if all of a sudden we get a pass rush and our offense works out, we look like geniuses because we drafted and traded back in to the first round to get defensive talent.
It's true.
So
both
of those guys could turn into Pro Bowl players too.
100%. It just went the wrong way, in my opinion. I think the Falcons definitely touched the pass rush, and it's working better now. But with us being the Falcons, you fix something and something else is messed up.
I think what you ought to do, Cullen, you guys maybe could draft an offensive coordinator.
That if we could, I would put a lot of picks on that. That would be awesome.
Oh, if you could go and get second half Mike Bobo, I think that would be honestly the move.
I don't know about that.
Do you when McDaniels gets fired from the Dolphins, do you hire McDaniels as your OC if they fire?
I would 100%. 100.
I would
That would be
100%.
electric, dude.
I would 100%.
He's already got
Would agree.
experience with a lefty quarterback too. Even though that
That's
hasn't
true. That is
great.
very true.
That's a good point as well. I
That
didn't even
might
think about
honestly.
that.
So quite.
That's a great point.
Now that you bring that up, I think that's because obviously I think we're all in agreement that McDaniel's probably getting fired at the end of the year. I think his destination is Atlanta. If they fire the offensive coordinator, obviously that has to happen first.
Yeah.
But he would be a perfect fit for Atlanta.
That's a great
quarterback.
That's a great point. That is a great point.
I think he could.
Well, he just had a really great audition.
That's
yeah,
also true.
He did.
Maybe that's why he played
second half.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he called
second half Mike Bobo, dude.
Well, Dylan,
Mike Bobo.
I sent you a video, Dylan, that we were talking about with Zach Robinson and the way he uses the pistol formation. We don't have a mobile quarterback. You don't run the pistol without a mobile quarterback. I don't understand how you get paid millions of dollars and you were a quarterback and you don't see that. But I can sit on my couch and do nothing all day and notice that. So.
You know what I also got out of that video, though, Cullen, was the fact that you don't do that to a second or really first-year quarterback either. Yeah. He doesn't have enough experience reading defenses to make the decisions that you have to make at pistol.
Did he run a lot of pistol in college? Like
no,
that?
No, I don't think he did at all.
The biggest thing that scares me about Michael Penix, and I'll just touch on this real quick, is I think he's uberly talented. He's got a killer arm.
Yeah.
But when you coach a guy that could just throw a piss missile downfield every play, it's probably pretty easy to screw up his development. And I'm really afraid that Zach Robinson and Raheem are going to try to tone him down because you can see he's not decisive anymore. He doesn't know where he wants to go with the ball, and he's got cement feet. So when he tries to run, nothing.
Same way that kind of Kirk Cousins, you were looking at him being like, dude, have you not been playing quarterback in the NFL for so many years? Like, you seem lost, and now you throw a
could be an indictment on the Falcons
offense. Rookie quarterback throwing and trying to do the same thing. And if Kirk Cousins was kind of confused with how long he's been in the league.
You remember watching the quarterback show. Yeah. And Kirk Cousins talking about how, learning a new offense, but I feel like there was more to that when he was kind of describing just how confusing it was. Like, it seems like it's too much. Yeah. Like, even for a veteran quarterback, it's you got to help your players out a little bit. You really do.
To go on to helping out players, we'll touch a little bit on UGA because I know you're a big UGA fan.
Yeah, they just had a bye week, but that Ole Miss game.
Their second half performance, I think, they've kind of been notorious this year, especially this is kind of the first year that I remember, but haven't played very good at all in the first half. And then all of a sudden in the second half, they figure it out and they're able to pull out wins. And that's what they've been doing this year. I guess, do you think that you're going to be able to sustain that against SEC talent for the rest of the year? And ultimately in the playoffs, because I think they're going to get in the playoffs, is that something that you can just kind of go, well, that's just how our team is built and how we're winning games this year. So that's what we're going to go with.
So obviously, there's the whole Mike Bobo thing. I'm not a big fan of him, but he did coach his ass off last week in the second half. And there's a lot of
good game plan.
Yeah, good game plan. There's a lot of things I was worried about. Historically, being a Georgia fan, though, watching my team start slow and actually finish the game is nice because it would be the other way around mostly, or it would just be a blowout, which I would prefer that. I think the performance against Ole Miss was great. Stockton finally looked comfortable. He had like five
touchdowns.
Yeah, total, which is pretty good. And Ole Miss has a great team. Do I like starting slow every week? No, but it's probably going to be like that every week. So when you say against SEC teams for the rest of the year, we really only have Mississippi State and Texas left after Florida.
That's it.
Obviously.
And then maybe the SEC championship if you make it.
So that's something I wanted to say too, is I actually think we should miss that. That will probably screw our playoff chances up if we go to, and we have to play like Texas A&M or Alabama again.
Then you lose.
I think we just try to sneak in by committee, and hopefully get an easy matchup or something like that.
Take that SEC bias.
Yeah, that definitely will be. I don't think this year is like the year for the Dogs at all, but for such a young team and a first-year starting quarterback, if we could make the playoffs and get a win or something, I would be okay with that.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah. So the NBA season just started, and we don't much talk about the NBA because one, it's a long season. Two, it really doesn't feel like most of the regular season matters. And you could kind of say the same for baseball. It's just there's so many games. They play like 3 or 4 times a week sometimes, and it's a lot to keep track of. But the Hawks and the Bulls, quite honestly, have been perennial play-in tournament contenders. They're there every single year as the 9 and the 10 seed. They're just good enough to get into those 9 and 10 spots, and they're not bad enough to get a top draft pick. It is the worst place to be in sports. We are both the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. So I wanted to ask, what are your expectations for the Hawks this year? I know the Bulls and the Hawks just played, but
Well, I think we're meeting in the play-in again. I think we're both. That's we'll probably get sent home first, and then you guys next week or something. I don't know, but
probably the Miami Heat again.
Yeah, the Hawks. That's another. That's just like the Atlanta Curse. It's another team that was supposed to do something this year. Crazy, roster. But our star player Trae Young, I don't know if he's either started off real slow or he's actually just washed now. I don't know, but there's a reason we haven't extended him. And that worries me a lot. I don't really right now I can't say what we're gonna do. I just expect the same. So it's a play-in for me. And probably you would say the same thing for the Bulls, even though they're good.
I'm happy with how they started, but it's probably a play-in tournament. It's
for sure. But we could touch on that too.
Hell yeah. No, we'll probably talk about it more, as the playoffs come, because you never know. Maybe the Hawks and Bulls surprise us. I like watching the NBA playoffs. Very exciting. Yeah. The last year's was incredible with Halliburton and all those
it's like hockey playoffs too. Oh, you always turn in for the hockey playoffs.
Absolutely. So final thing, Dawson and Cullen. There is a Super Bowl rematch this week.
There is.
And it could go either way. The Falcons are coming off 2 bad performances. They're going to be pissed off.
This is very true.
You're going to get the best version of the Falcons, I think.
This is true.
And the Patriots have been destroying most teams.
This is also very true.
So I got to hear predictions. You go first, Cullen. What do you think?
I don't even want to answer it, but so I mean, obviously, like you just said, the Falcons are pissed off, but like I've been saying, it's Raheem Morrison team, and I don't really believe in them right now. But hoping they, need a comeback win. It's going to be ugly, and Drake May's probably going to kill us. But if it goes my way, I'd take them in like a close 24-17.
Yeah, I think a game. I just putting my football hat on, not my Patriot fan hat. I think if the Falcons have a chance of winning, they're going to have to establish the run game with Bijan.
And you want to know on top of that, the Patriots have not allowed a running back to have over 50 yards in any of their games.
I saw that. So if that trend continues, then I think it's going to be very ugly, kind of like the Dolphins versus Falcons was last week. If they can get Bijan going, though, and all of a sudden he's, rushes for
London's healthy
for
too, that would help.
18, 19 rushes for 100 some odd yards and maybe a touchdown or leading 2 touchdowns, then I could see, it could be very scary. The same way they beat the Bills. I said it, I was the first one to say Bills had a terrible run defense. That's how you have to beat them. Now the Patriots don't. So there's the kind of difference between that. But
maybe it's the Kyle Pitts game.
I love playing against the Falcons. I wish it was here because I would have gone. But
we all should have gone. I wish it was in Atlanta.
I think that would have been fun. I think it's gonna be a similar game to the way that the Dolphins kind of beat the Falcons. If we can stop the run and force whatever quarterback they have to throw the ball,
I will say on top of Drake London was out last week.
He was
for the Falcons, and that obviously Miami didn't have a great secondary. They really don't have a good secondary at all. But Patriots do have a good secondary. So I think all of the Falcons playmakers are going to have to be on their A game. I think Kyle Pitts is going to have another good game like he did last week. Even though it didn't, generate a win, you need Pitts, you need London, you even need Mooney. Because, Christian Gonzalez is going to be on London like damn near the whole game. And so this really comes down to your other playmakers.
Something to realize, too, is Jalen Walker, I believe, is going to be out for this. It could be out for this game.
That sucks.
Starting nickel could be out, and that's like his 3rd game missed. And
that also sucks.
Still don't know if Penix is going to play. So
that too.
I got the Patriots. Yeah. It's always fun though. I mess with Cullen about 28-3 all the time. So we have a good laugh.
We get a new 28-3 sticker probably every other week.
We have a good laugh about it. But no, we appreciate you. Thank you again and coming on talking Georgia and Falcons. And we will.
We'll probably have you on for like the SEC championship, college football playoff, stuff like that.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Well, we appreciate Cullen joining us. It is, the Falcons.
That's a good take. Hot take.
The Falcons are very fun to make fun of, especially for me. I enjoy making fun of the
Falcons.
So, Week 9 preview, though, we've got some games. We've got our pick'ems that we do of the prime times. To kick it off, though, the one, it's not a prime time. I wish it was. There's a couple on here that should be.
Instead of Cardinals, Cowboys,
There are two games on here that should be primetime that are not. That's why we're talking about them. Vikings and the Lions. I think this division, especially, these games are always fun to watch. Lions are coming off a bye, so they're going to be fresh. Vikings, who knows who's going to play quarterback for them?
I think it's JJ.
That would make sense because he's been out for a really long. It seems like he's
been out for like 5 weeks.
He could have played probably last week, especially with the whole Carson Wentz thing that came out.
Yeah, Carson Wentz had the exact same injury that I had on my shoulder, where he popped his shoulder out, tore his labrum, and because of how he dislocated it, his socket fractured too. So he's going to have like an 8-month recovery.
And you can tell the last game of how painful and what he was.
Oh, it's not fun. It's some of the most pain that I've ever been in. When when that shoulder comes out. When that shoulder comes out while your socket is fractured, I do not wish that on anybody. It sucks.
This game's going to be a lot of fun, though. I think when it comes to the Lions are always, I think, must-watch TV.
They've been
when it
so
comes
good,
to the NFL.
dude. I was so wrong about them taking a step back.
Well, I think it was very warranted for them losing both of their coordinators. You just never knew. You just don't know.
Dan Campbell is the glue.
He is. So I'm looking forward to watching this game.
Yep.
Next one, Falcons Patriots. My game.
Yeah, we talked about with Cullen a little bit. I mean, maybe some bias from Cullen, but
I love playing. I wish it was here. I wish it was here so I could have gone the same way you went to the Dolphins. I love making fun of the Falcons. I think the Falcons, their next couple games, like they play the Colts after they play us.
Yeah, in Germany.
They're going through a really bad which this could lead to maybe them firing their coach.
Well, they still have to play Tampa again.
They still have to play Tampa. They have to play us. They have to play the Colts. So they've got a real tough stretch coming down.
Their coach even came out and said, "We're not changing anything. We're good
this week."
Oh, Raheem Morris. Yeah.
Oh yeah. 34-10. I like where this team is.
Hey, but you know what this reminds me of? They did the same shit last year.
God, dude.
They did the same shit last year, and then all of a sudden it was way too late, and they fucked themselves, lost the division when they had it in their hands with the whole Kirk Cousins situation.
That is true.
Now, ultimately, looking back on it, would it have probably changed anything?
Not a matter.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But that's just the difference between poorly run organizations. But I like the Patriots. We're playing really good.
Yep.
I know we're
playing good defense, good passing defense.
Yes.
We shall see. Although Tua lit them up. So
next game, Colts Steelers.
This is a good game.
This is a great game because I think the Steelers defense is good.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers run defense.
They just traded for Kyle Duggar too from the Patriots.
They did.
Good safety.
They did. I like the Colts. I think they're still going to be able to run the ball. I don't really know what the Colts are though. Like I seriously don't.
They're just a good team.
They're a good team.
They're just a good team.
And until they get punched in the mouth and until I see them play the Chiefs.
They're going to get punched in the mouth against the Chiefs in like 2 or 3 weeks.
I just don't know what this team is. Like, yeah, they're 7-1, best team in the AFC. But to me, it just doesn't. Same way kind of with the Patriots a little bit. I just really don't know. And this game, I still don't think even when this game is over, we're still going to know because the Steelers, they're going to go 8-7 again this year.
The Steelers are going to beat themselves every time. Like it's not, they're going to cover the flats with linebackers and they're going to get taken advantage of by Downs, whoever's in the slot. And that's going to open up their run game. It's the Colts. I'm sure most of the league knows the formula to beat the Steelers. It's just, can you put it out there? Like, can you perform and do it? But
Next one, we're going to go to your game. Bears, Bengals.
It's going to be, so this is a 52-point total. 52. That's crazy.
Even with how bad the Bengals are, you seriously just don't think that they're going to be able to put up points the same way the Jets did?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Is that where we are right now?
The Bears offense is just, like, obviously guys are getting open. Caleb, I said it last week, Caleb had an opportunity to put the team on his back. Didn't happen. It's another opportunity. We'll see, Caleb. I'm losing faith. I really am because it's just not pretty and it's not what you were supposed to be. That doesn't mean I'm closing the chapter on you, but like, damn, dude, what the hell? And it is. They put together just because they love comparing top quarterbacks. They compared Caleb Williams with Josh Allen's first few starts, and Caleb Williams is like marginally better. And we also saw what Josh Allen turned into. So there's that. Or you could say that Jared Goff, in the same amount of games that he played with Ben Johnson as Caleb has played with Ben Johnson, it's the exact same production. And so that, with how both quarterbacks turned out, it should be promising. But you got to see it first. And obviously,
if you're going to do it, this is the defense that you have to do
this,
it against.
If you don't put up at least like 275 to 300 and 2 or 3 touchdowns, I'm not satisfied. Like, this is everybody scores on the Bengals.
Well, if the Jets can do it, there's no excuse why the Bears can't.
We got to remind ourselves here, and you, Dylan, this is the life cycle of a Bears fan.
It is.
I just want to remind everybody, we're in week 9, and Dylan is he's almost on the edge of the cliff.
I hear what he's saying. All of his arguments, I think, are truly logical when it comes to what it is. And you're not lying to yourself where you could.
It starts at the top.
It does. And, I think they got the Ben Johnson thing right. I really do. And ultimately, like we said, they should have.
Well, you got the general right, but do you have the lieutenants right?
It's like, just why the fuck would you not let the head coach not pick his GM, but
at least communicate hey, do I want this guy or do we need to find someone else?
It happened with the Jaguars.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Dude, what are we doing? Yeah. Like, we're not a premier franchise that can just cling to our ego and say, yeah, we hired the right guy in 2022. We don't need to start over fresh. Same with our head coach. Dude, oh my God.
The last game that should be either the Monday night or Sunday night is the Chiefs at the Bills.
Such a good game.
This is always, pure entertainment when it comes to must-watch football. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to come down to last couple possessions. Yeah. I like that the Bills are able to. I think they're
coming off a bye week.
I think they sent a message. Well, kind of, because they blew out the Card or
they had a bye week and
Carolina.
Then they blew out them. Yeah.
I think the Chiefs' run defense is not the best. And the Bills kind of sent a message to the whole league last week to where, hey, if we want to rush for 200 yards,
we can.
We're going to do it. And we're not going to, no one's going to stop us.
Panthers don't have a bad defense.
And they don't. So I really like the fact that the Bills were able to run the ball the way they are. And I have to imagine that they're going to try to do that against the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. I also have to imagine that that's what the Chiefs are going to try. And they're going to try and force Josh Allen to pass the ball to beat them because that leads to the mistakes that the Bills do make is Josh Allen trying to really be Superman. But the past couple of times they've played the Chiefs, he's been very good at not doing that. Yep. So it's going to be a very interesting game within the game of how these teams try to take away each other's strengths and how they do that. But like I said, this game is always fun to watch. You got two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. A lot of history in the playoffs. Oh, yeah. I can't wait for this one.
There's a reason it's not on prime time. No, it shouldn't be on prime time.
You're telling me Seahawks
because if it was on prime time, the problem would be
Cowboys are better than this?
Listen, every time these games are on prime time is when everybody starts complaining about some of the officiating. I think by burying this game at the 1 o'clock time frame,
no, it's 4.
You take some of the, or 4, whatever, but it's not prime time. Yeah. So maybe that's part of it too. Who knows?
That's not a terrible argument. That's not a terrible argument. Maybe the
NFL is controversial.
The NFL is
you gotta hide some of those calls.
The NFL is protecting, but even that though, everyone's going to be watching, so it doesn't matter.
It's true.
I don't like. Let's just, for instance, let's just see what the other 4 o'clock games are like.
At least we get to save ourselves from Chris Collinsworth slopping all over Mahomes and Josh Allen.
That dude needs to shut the hell up.
Like, how did he not call this game?
But even him, I think he knows. Everybody, he knows exactly what he's doing.
They do, but it's like, that's different. It's like you're a radio host or like a sports talk show host. You're supposed to do that. When I would rather watch the Manning cast, quite honestly, than hear these announcers that used to play football choking on every good player that crosses their it's just disgusting. I watched Collinsworth do it with Aaron Rodgers for 20 years. It's pathetic. Like, he is literally just clinging himself to a player, and then every opportunity he gets, even if it's a bad play, wow, what kind of quarterback does that? Fuck off, Chris.
I hear you.
Not you, Chris, but Chris Collinsworth. Save it. Let's see the other 4 o'clock games. Saints, Rams, and Jaguars, Raiders. Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm going to be watching Chiefs, Bills the entire time.
Yeah,
so
that's funny. I'll turn off Red Zone and just watch.
Yep.
To go into our pick'ems, like we mentioned, Ravens, Dolphins. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory.
Dolphins.
I'm going with the Ravens.
Ravens. Sorry, Chris.
I'm going with the Ravens. Lamar's back. Dolphins, I think, had their one good game of the year.
Yeah. Well, Derrick Henry's probably going to rush for 200 this
game. That too. Forgot about that.
So the reason, obviously the Bears didn't play a perfect game. We didn't have any turnovers, so that's, part of the reason we lost. Didn't play clean on offense. Didn't have any turnovers to help us. But on top of that, the Ravens got Patrick Ricard back. They're big time fullback. Hasn't played a game this season, and I don't think it's any coincidence that Derrick Henry had one of his more productive rushing games. Dolphins rush defense, everyone knows, not great.
They were able to hold Bijan to like 20 yards, but
That's
yes,
true.
Yes,
That's so. Like, what did you guys? Sorry to go off topic, but like, what did you notice in that game about how they were handling Bijan? Like, why the hell did that happen?
really felt like they were daring Kirk Cousins. If
they stacked the box every time.
They stacked the box, and they were coming downhill from the linebacker positions, even if it was play action, and they were daring Kirk. If they were going to win that game, it was okay. Kirk Cousins, you're going to have to throw the ball.
They were just telling their corners, okay, just stay on your guy for like 2 or 3 seconds, and we're going to blitz.
or just don't let them get behind you. Don't give up the deep pass. If they want to do little dink and ducks, we'll rally and tackle, but we are going to sell out to stop the run. And they got a lead, and then it led to them having a huge lead to where what were they going to do? Just pass the ball. So that's kind of what
it also didn't even feel like they had home field advantage.
Yeah, really
because there were so many Dolphin fans there. When we would make a play, it was loud. Like it was, Atlanta's notorious for that, selling all their tickets to the away teams.
Yeah, they don't.
And they did.
Atlanta's got a terrible
That's what I noticed. So they did really good against Bijan, and I would have to imagine I would have the same game plan if I was going up against the Ravens.
Lamar to throw it.
Dare Lamar to throw it.
He could be. I think it'll be a good game for at least the first half. We'll see if the Dolphins can keep up.
And then notoriously, Lamar scores a lot of touchdowns against the Dolphins.
Like every time he plays.
Every time he plays. So you're kind of picking your poison, but I would rather lose to Lamar throwing the ball than Derrick Henry having 25 carries for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yep. Yeah, Ravens, Dolphins, give us Ravens.
College game day, we got the 17th ranked Cincinnati Bearcats. We got a lot of Cincinnati fans.
We do.
And going up against the 24th ranked Utah Utes.
The Utes.
College game day. Jake told me, what time is this game at, Jake? And it's the college game day?
10:30.
10:30 at night, and it's the college game day. So those guys have got to be up to do college game day. When does it start? 7:30, 7 o'clock, 9, somewhere around there? Yeah. Wow. And then they got to wait till 7 or 10 o'clock, 10:30 their time just for the game to start.
Saban's going to need a nap halfway through.
So I'm going to go with the home team. I've kind of been picking the home team a lot because you just never know with college. I'm going to go with Utah.
Give me Cincinnati, baby.
Yeah, we got a lot of Cincinnati
riding
fans.
with Cincinnati.
They've been playing good.
Give me Cincinnati.
The big noon kickoff, Penn State at Ohio State.
We don't need to talk much about this.
I think this game would go a little bit better if they had their coach still.
Or not,
maybe, because Ohio State's defense.
The reason he got fired is because they lost back-to-back games.
And Ohio State's defense. If you want to look it up for me real quick, Dad, Ohio State's defense
still
I
under
still
10
think
points?
is like allowing less than 5 points a game or something stupid. So because of that,
they're not necessarily holding that track record of playing good teams.
This is true.
So
This is true. But I've got Ohio State in this one.
5.9.
Pretty self-explanatory.
5.9 points per game.
I think Georgia, when they won the Natty, I think it was the first time, it was like under 10 for a long time. I think it was like sitting at 9 points per game. That's ridiculous.
5.9 points a game. And we're in week, what, 9?
216 yards, 5.9.
How many ranked opponents have they played?
They've played the one at the beginning of the year.
They play whoever they put in front of them.
And Texas
doesn't matter.
Dog shit. Yeah, that's true.
Next one, we've got the Sunday night game, Seahawks and Commanders. If Jaden Daniels, it doesn't look like is he on track to play?
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
He hurt his knee earlier in the year, and now it's a hamstring.
On the same leg, too, I'm pretty sure.
You don't.
Yeah.
Like, Jaden Daniels is slowly becoming, I don't want to call him injury prone, but he's had 3 injuries to his lower body.
And he was also injured in college a couple times.
Yes.
So he had his one good year last year.
Well, that's what happens to Washington quarterbacks, though, in history, I mean,
RG3.
all the way back to
Theismann. Yeah.
All the way back.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Seahawks, though. I really like the Seahawks.
Well,
they kind of had a little bit of a bad game last week. Still were able to pull out a win.
They had a bye week last week.
The week before. They played the Texans. And they
had... Like, the only reason they won that game is because Houston could not block at all. Seattle's got a really good defense. Houston just shit the bed. Seriously did. And so, they had 3 turnovers.
Jackson Smith has played... I think he has 400 more yards than anyone close to him.
It's ridiculous.
I know the bye week probably didn't help that. Someone's got a little. I like
Jamar's catching up to him.
Yeah. Well, when you get 20 targets a game, I can
keep coming, Joe.
Last one, Monday night, Cardinals at the Cowboys.
I have no idea.
No idea. I'm gonna go with the home team just because I think they're gonna score a ton of points, and they always play good at home.
I think Cowboys too.
Troy Aikman's calling the game, so you know how that goes. I'll go with the Cowboys to put up a ton of points. I don't know if Kyler Murray isn't playing, I think Jacoby Brissett's not terrible, and that defense, their defense is terrible too. So They're going to be able to
Just two
score
bad
points
teams playing each
on,
other,
on the
man.
Cowboys.
Just two
I'll
bad
go with the
teams.
Cowboys, though.
I'll take the Cowboys too.
And
they're
I
gonna be
have
pissed after losing
in
last
one
week.
league, I literally have Ferguson, Dak Prescott, and George Pickens on the same team. So it'd be really nice if I could get a lot of points from those three
It
guys.
would be nice.
To finish off this week's episode, like we do every week, we've got our 2 player props and the cut bet of the week. My player prop this week, I am going with what I think will be the most entertaining game of the week. He's notorious for...
Oh, dude, Bears-Bengals might be the most entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to go back and forth.
I even think maybe the Cardinals-Cowboys could be entertaining, too.
Yeah, it could be.
My player prop this week is Josh Allen over 35.5 rushing yards. He's notorious for rushing a lot against the Chiefs. He had that really long run last year for the touchdown that kind of sealed it to beat them. I like this. I almost took Mahomes' rushing yards too because he's really running a lot. And in a game like this where it's going to come, everything's off the table when it comes to getting a win and getting a first down, I like Josh Allen to get over 35.5 this week.
Yeah, I like that. So mine, same game. I'm taking Rashee Rice over 68.5 receiving yards. Surprising that it's that low considering what he's done since he came in 2 weeks ago. Like this is obviously he didn't have the most receiving yards in the first week against the Raiders. Didn't need to. They won by 31-0.
Their starters were out, and the
last game was more indicative of what it's going to look like. Like 90 yards, 9 catches, and 2 touchdowns. Rashee Rice is. I'm very happy that I took him in one fantasy league. I told myself I was going to. I'm glad I listened to myself because, my God, on top of the people I have in that roster, it's been a long time since I've been competitive in fantasy football. I've been itching for teams like this, and I've got 3 that I really like. Really like. But yeah, Rashee Rice, 68.5 receiving yards. Patrick Mahomes is playing like the MVP, damn near. I think he's probably outside of Drake May and Jonathan Taylor.
He has the best odds. It's Mahomes, Drake May, Josh Allen. That's the top 3 right now.
Josh Allen? Really?
Josh Allen is
not
3.
Jonathan Taylor? Fuck off with that.
He's up there, but Josh Allen is 3. Yeah. Drake May jumped to 2.
Yeah, no, and he deserves it. Yes, on to our cut bet of the week. As I said earlier, the episode is sponsored by CutBet. CutBet is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that allows its users to wager directly with other users on any publicly verifiable result in sports, entertainment, politics, and more. Cut users set the terms of any wager they make, and the possibility is endless. Stop talking and start competing against your friends and us and other users who prove who really knows what they're talking about. And this week, I know I just got done saying that it was going to be a good game, but I think the Bears-Bengals goes under 52 points. I think it's not going to get that. I think it's probably going to be like a 27-20 game. That's under. And I do think the Bears defense is going to rebound a bit. They just signed Chauncey Gardner-Johnson because our secondary is so banged up. Our nickel, Kyler Gordon, is out for another 4 weeks. Chauncey played nickel for Dennis Allen when he was in New Orleans when he first got drafted for like the first 4 years of his career. So I do think the Bears defense plays a little bit better. But yeah, 52.
Yeah, I see
a little bit too much.
This game either to me is going to go way over like the Bengals Jets did, or it's going to stay under and kind of be a defensive. No one can really figure it out type of game.
It's going to be a weird game, I think.
Well, that will wrap up episode 62. Thank you again for the people who commented on our last stuff. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for just really all the support. This is we enjoy doing this. Anything helps. And if you have any questions, concerns on certain games, certain players, who you think should be in the MVP race, if you think the Colts are the best team in the AFC, I know AJ's answer. We were going back and forth. But no, yes. And also, me and Dylan did not plan to match today. I don't know how that happened.
I didn't mean to do it.
We didn't mean to do it. We didn't plan it. Swear to God.
Oops. We got all the same color sweatpants.
We do. Thanks for Cullen coming on.
Thank you, Cullen, coming on the show.
Episode 62. We will see you guys next week.
Sir, it's been real, guys.
The Bears. The Bears.